Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Monster, and today we'll be reviewing the Star Wars The Black Series Q9-0 from the Mandalorian line. This guy does look really cool. If you actually do remember back in the day when I first saw this guy get revealed, I was hating on him super hard. I didn't think he deserved a spot in the Black Series, but actually looking at him in hand, he looks kind of amazing. So I cannot wait to review this guy, and hopefully actually having him in hand will change my mind. But pretty nice box here, looking good. We actually do have this amazing image of Q9 here on the side. I absolutely love that artwork. It looks just absolutely amazing. Flipping over to the back, he does have a bio. You can pause and read it if you would like. And more of that amazing artwork. I absolutely love it. It is number 11 in the Mandalorian line. Not a whole lot going on this side, so yeah, let's go ahead and crack this sucker open. Okay, so we do have Q9 out of the box, and I do have to say, I'm pretty impressed with this figure overall. I do have a few critiques for the figure, and that mainly has to do with the paint apps, but first impressions are pretty good, I do have to say. I am just overall pretty surprised with actually how this figure came out. I was expecting them to use a lot of reuse from other droids like C-3PO and figures like that, but for the most part, this is a pretty new figure. A lot of new molds, and I think it came out really well. Looking right at it, these legs are perfect Darth Maul robotic legs. So if you ever hear me say it on the channel, I quite often say Hasbro doesn't make new molds to only use once. So I would not be surprised if they reuse these legs for maybe a Season 7 Maul in the future. We'll see. I know they're not exact, but honestly they're so close that I really would not complain. So taking a close look at this figure, I'm pretty impressed with some of the paint apps, and then some of the paint apps I'm not. But right off the bat, I do want to take a look at his little pouch vest thing. This guy has some pretty good paint apps on it. It looks weathered. It looks like leather. It looks really cool. Only problem is it's very loose. Moves around a lot. It's not that big of a deal, but it does get a little annoying. But the one thing I'm super impressed with is the paint apps on the torso and arms. It might be a little bit hard to see on camera, but he does have a rustic wash over the gray. It gives it a nice metallic-y, worn look, and it looks super cool, especially on this gauntlet too. It has a nice shiny gold color, and it just looks amazing. The problem is once you get to the back, there's no paint on the back at all. It could have used some wash or some black paint on this little control panel back here. And the biggest thing for me for the back here is all of these wires are just left unpainted, and it looks really bad. I mean, I understand they're not going to paint all the wires on the back of the figure, but a few of them would have been nice. Another problem with the paint apps that I have is there's none even on the front of the legs. I could understand not doing anything on the back, but you could have at least brought it to the front. These legs have zero paint apps at all, and it just looks kind of weird to see the rustic effect on the top half and then nothing on the bottom half. But anyway, looking at articulation for this figure, his head is on a ball, and his arms can go all the way around. I would be kind of careful though, because if you just watched what happened, his shoulder there is on a little O-ring, and it can get stuck whenever you move it all the way around. So this O-ring is separate from the arm, so it can get kind of jammed in there, but it can also go out quite far. So articulation these days have been really good. He does actually have a swivel at the forearm and not at the top of the elbow, and that's good because if the rotation was at the top here, these wires would snap very easily. It happens on the Jango Fett mold, but luckily they found a way to fix that, and I think it came out very well. And then of course you can get a very good articulation for the elbows there. Moving down to the abdomen, get very nice rotation there. Leg can kick up pretty far, and it has double jointed knees. Not really, not double jointed, but double jointed knees. But nice articulation there. Can go all the way around. Very interesting robotic legs, but he also does have ankle pivots as well. So yeah, overall pretty good articulation. He can do the splits if you would like to, and yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with how the articulation of this figure turned out. First up for comparisons, here's Q9 next to the Mandalorian. Obviously Q9 did interact with quite a few people in Mandalorian Season 1, but most of them don't have figures yet. So Mando is one of the big ones that he did interact with, and I think they look pretty good together. But I do think that the biggest person that Q9 interacted with is actually Baby Yoda. If you do remember, Q9 stayed back on the Razor Crest and he discovered Baby Yoda, and that's whenever he tried to kill it. Eventually, Din Djarin did come back and shoot Q9 before he could kill Baby Yoda, but I think that Baby Yoda is just a great figure to display with Q9 because of everything that did happen. And while Q9 is a Mandalorian character, until we get more of the figures that go with him from that prison arc, I'm probably just going to use him as a background Cantina alien. And so here are a few Cantina aliens with Bib Fortuna. I just called them Bib Fortuna. I'm sorry, Ponda Baba and Dr. Ezevin. Just as kind of like a Cantina display, like I said, until we get some more of those Mandalorian characters to go with him. And now, I will say, I think Hasbro missed a golden opportunity for this figure. If you do remember in Mando Season 2, Q9 was technically still alive, but he was just like a little scrap of parts, and he was like pretty much in this little net thing that was on the wall of the Razor Crest. And I think the biggest missed opportunity is kind of doing a thing like they did with Empire Strikes Back C-3PO and Chewbacca. And I really wish what they did was they made his limbs like kind of detachable and able to put up in like a little net display. So you could repurpose him as a Q9 from Season 1 or from Season 2. And this is such a missed opportunity. And I would have loved to see what they could have done with this. Maybe in the future this will be possible. Maybe we'll get like a re-release of the figure with a few extra parts to go with it. But until then, we will see. I just think it's a missed opportunity. But yeah, that is going to do it for the video. If you did enjoy, the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And comment down below. Do you guys have this figure? What do you think about it? And overall, I am going to give it probably a 4 out of 5. I just think the lack of paint apps from the waist down and on the back is just really killing this figure, because the paint apps on the torso up just look so good. And the problem with them being so good is the absence of them makes it look bad. So it is going to get a 4 out of 5. I do wish they would have done something with the Season 2 Q9 and the possibilities there, but it is what it is, and overall, I do really, really like the figure. So I will suggest this to any Mandalorian fans, droids fans, if you do collect Black Series droids, or fans looking for a surprisingly good figure.